Welcome back to 90s Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Kevin Thompson, founder and CEO of 99 Capital Group. Thank you guys for joining me. As I always say, subscribe to the channel. As I always say, go and get my book, MLB to CFP, live on Apple and Amazon. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at info@99capitalgroup.com. Send us your questions. Go to the website at www.99capitalgroup.com. Schedule an appointment. As you know, we're here to do what? Educate, empower, and engage, and also entertain. Follow us on all social media channels at MLB to CFP or at 9iCap. Today, we're talking about something that I want everyone to listen to. This is very important. We're talking about the emergency fund, how much you should have in that account, why it's important, and what you need to be doing, what we all need to be doing in this current landscape. Very important episode. You don't want to miss it. Let's get it. So let's get right to it, everyone. This is not a sexy topic, but it's a powerful topic because this is something that should be on everyone's mind currently. It's not flashy, but it's absolutely essential. Your emergency fund. Nobody wants to talk about saving for something they hope never happens. But here's the truth. Hope isn't a strategy, but your emergency fund definitely is a strategy. We are in an environment right now where we have long-term job loss is becoming the norm. There are more people unemployed than jobs are available. That means wages will stay depressed and new jobs will be harder to find. So today, I want to talk to you about what an emergency fund actually is, why it matters, and how much you really need, not based on what you heard, but based on what actually works. We've often been told, oh, we just need 3 to 6 months of emergency funding, but that changed during COVID. 3 to 6 months became 6 to 9 months or 6 to 12 months. And I'm going to tell you this. Before we get into how much you need, what you need, and where to put it, we're going to go and talk about what counts as an emergency fund. First things first, let's define it. An emergency fund is not something you're going to go and use to splurge on a last-minute trip. An emergency fund is something that threatens your financial stability, job loss, major car repair, medical expenses, or a sudden home issue that has been in need to be fixed immediately. I always say an emergency fund is almost like a shock absorber for your financial life. It keeps one bad week from becoming one bad year. It's not there to make you rich. It's there to keep you from making bad decisions. I will tell you, this saves lives. This saves marriages. One of the number one issue in regards to failed marriages is typically financial. When someone or a spouse loses their job and they can't find another job and financial issues hit the families hard, this is one way to combat that. So what counts as an emergency fund is cash equivalents that you are not going to touch. Cash and cash equivalents that will remain cash and cash equivalents. And there is a certain level where you get comfortable and getting an emergency fund, whether that's 6 to 9 months or 9 to 12 months. We'll get into that here in a second, but it's important because this not only saves your life, but also can save your relationship. So let's talk about why it's important. So let's be honest here. We're in a weird economy. Companies aren't hiring, but they're being cautious. Layoffs are still happening. And even when jobs come back, they're not paying what they used to. Why is that? Well, because they have more supply of labor than jobs available. We've gone from job hopping being the norm, job hunting being the struggle. Employers have leverage once again. We saw in COVID, there were more jobs available than people available. So people had the ability to go from one place to the other and for higher wages. Now it's back in the employer's hands again as a leverage play. And that's exactly why an emergency fund is important today. They give you time and options. You don't want to be in a situation where you don't have enough money and you have to take whatever is available. And if something's not available, you have to take even less and less and less just to get money in the door. Without one, you might be taking the first opportunity, even if it's a pay cut, even if it doesn't align with your skills, simply because you need income right now. But with 9 to 12 months of expenses tucked away, you can take a breath. Assess your next move and find something that actually fits your life instead of settling out of fear. So I hear what you guys are saying. Kevin, get right to it. Get to it, man. So how much should we have? How much should we have saved up? Well, let's just talk numbers, because this is where most people miss the mark. The traditional rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months of your expenses. That made sense when jobs were stable and rehiring was quick. That's not where we are today. In this environment, I'm pushing for 9 to 12 months, either of expenses and or income, enough cushion that if the worst happens, you can regroup without panic. Think about it this way. It's not just about paying the bills. It's about keeping your rhythm. Still contributing to insurance, still paying your mortgage, still maintaining the life you've built while you've looked for the next opportunity is crucial. Having that emergency fund in an environment that's free of risk gives you the ability to do what you want, not doing what you must do. It's very, very important, and that's the power of the emergency fund in a nutshell. It gives you the ability to get what you want versus having to take whatever's out there. Financial struggles go away, marriages stay afloat, families stay cohesive. There's not enough money in the world, not enough return in the world, in my opinion, that can give you that same semblance of safety. So emergency funding, 9 to 12 months of expenses or income, and I'm more in the line of income, having your income in that bucket, because again, you never know how long you're going to be without a job. Now, one of the things I hear consistently is like, well, I want to get a return. Where can we put this money? No, it's not about that. It's not about returns. It's about safety. So where did you keep this? Not in the market, not in a crypto, not in your cousin's side hustle. You keep it liquid, high yield savings, money market, or short-term treasury ladders. The point isn't to grow it. The point is to have it available tomorrow if life hits you today. And don't confuse accessibility with temptation. This isn't your play money. It's your stay standing money. Again, this is not something that we want to play around with. The current environment we're in is not the same as it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, possibly not even the same 4 years ago, even when we were under COVID. It's understanding the facts around controlling your outcomes versus having your outcomes control you. So if you don't have 9 to 12 months of liquidity stored away, you may have to make some changes to your current environment. That may mean, hey, you know what? I'm not going to put any more money into my 401k plan right now because I want to beef up my savings. Yes, I know there may be matching and all that stuff, but you have to forego some things, because the last thing you want to do is, if you lose your job, have to start taking money from the 401k plan to cover your expenses. Why? Because, well, depending on your age, 59 and a half or less, you'll be hit with tax penalties and things of that nature. So that means holding off on maxing out your 401k contributions for a few months or pausing extra investments until your emergency fund is solid. It's important. You don't want the vulnerability. This isn't about stopping your progress. It's about protecting it. Stop worrying about your future self and protect yourself today, which will allow you to invest in your future self. That's my current opinion. I'd rather see you hit your retirement goals a year later than drain your 401k because your life threw you a curveball and you had no cash buffer. So if you don't have 9 to 12 months of liquidity stored away, you may have to make some changes to your current environment. That may mean, hey, you know what? I'm not going to put any more money into my 401k plan right now because I want to beef up my savings. Yes, I know there may be matching and all that stuff, but you have to forego some things because the last thing you want to do is, if you lose your job, have to start taking money from the 401k plan to cover your expenses. Why? Because, well, depending on your age, 59 and a half or less, you'll be hit with tax penalties and things of that nature. So that means holding off on maxing out your 401k contributions for a few months or pausing extra investments until your emergency fund is solid. It's important. You don't want the vulnerability. This isn't about stopping your progress. It's about protecting it. Stop worrying about your future self and protect yourself today, which will allow you to invest in your future self. That's my current opinion. I'd rather see you hit your retirement goals a year later than drain your 401k because your life threw you a curveball and you had no cash buffer. The psychology behind this, in my opinion, this was just me because, again, I'm more conservative in nature in regard to the financial planning side of things. The mental side of this, when you have that cushion, that 9 to 12 months of breathing room, you operate differently. You will. You'll walk a different way. You negotiate better. You make decisions from logic, not fear. And you start realizing that financial freedom isn't always about more money. It's about more stability. That's the value behind the emergency fund, peace of mind. You can't measure that on a spreadsheet, but you'll feel it every single day. I can't tell you how often I've had these conversations with my clients or my associates, and the sheer feeling of euphoria that you have when you know that you have that cushion there just in case your car breaks down, your AC unit goes out, anything that happens, you have the ability to pay that immediately versus going into debt. And that's what's currently happening in these days. People will take loans on their 401k. And by the way, when you take a loan on your 401k and you lose your job, what happens? That loan becomes a distribution, or you have to pay it out of your account, but it counts towards your taxable income. It's not a good deal. You may get hit with tax penalties as well. So it's important to understand that. So finally, here's my call to action for all of you guys. I want to challenge you. Sit down, look at your bank accounts, and calculate how many months of true living expenses you could cover right now. If it's not 9 to 12 months, start doing some reevaluating. Build up month by month. It's not going to be one time, I get it, but build up month by month. Make a strategy. If it is turn off your 401k for a little bit, it's okay. Build that savings account up. Pay yourself first before anything else. Before dining out, before subscriptions, before anything discretionary. Pay yourself first. Because right now, we're not saving for tomorrow. We're saving for today. It's time to buckle up our boots and get prepared. Thank you guys for listening to 9 Innings Podcast. Subscribe to the channel. Go and get my book, MLB to CFP, live on Apple and Amazon. You have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at info@99capitalgroup.com. Send us your questions. Go to the website at www.99capitalgroup.com. Schedule an appointment. As you know, we're here to do what? Educate, empower, engage, and also entertain. Follow us on all social media channels at 99cap or at MLB to CFP. Guys, I want you to take care of yourselves. This current environment is going to last for quite some time, but you don't have to fear where we are today. Get yourself prepared, buckle up your boots, put money aside to cover any life event. Thank you guys for listening. Stay humble, stay safe, my friends. I'll see you again soon.